searching for salvation. Can we find our way back? Getting stronger every day. Keep on pushing through the pain. Keep on running till we die. Ain't no mercy in this life. There's nowhere left to run away. No, there's nowhere left to run away, run away, run away, run away, run
Join my army of the dead.
Getting stronger every
Hey, Coaster. Nice to have you on board with us. It is indeed the last 100 runs, like you said, start of the last 100 runs. It's not going to be a long stream today. It's probably only going to be like 15 to 20 runs at the most. I'm going to try to aim for 50 tomorrow, and then probably on Thursday I'll have to do like 30, I guess. I'm not really... I mean, I'm thinking tomorrow I might do... I'm probably going to... I think I'm going to try to do like 50. Then I might actually do some like late night, because looking at my schedule, that's kind of how things are turning out right now. Yeah, on Thursday I'm only going to have like a little bit of time to stream, I think. So yeah, let's make these runs count. And hopefully... I'm really hoping that, yeah, that we can actually finish this up by Friday. It's exciting stuff. Anyway, how you doing, Coaster? I was just talking with you. We're talking about plans for this upcoming reset. I'm pretty pumped for it. I think you are too. I'm really glad that you've settled into a team. You've gotten that all worked out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit envious because you know, Deuce and I aren't like 100% on it, on what we're gonna do yet. Like again, I'm waiting entirely on Deuce. Like if Deuce is down, I'm down, and if we're both down, then I think A. Lamau is down, and then of course, if Deuce isn't down, then I'm gonna need to do a little bit of last-minute practice for the 4 boxing. Which, speaking of which, I'm not even sure I wanted. Well, I mean, I'm definitely. I would do 4 boxing, but the thing is, I don't. It would have been nice to have a little bit of time to prep it, just so that I don't make a complete fool out of myself. Because it's gonna be my first time actually 4 boxing on stream, if I do end up having to do that. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, at the end of the day, I'm really hoping that Deuce pulls through and that we can actually go with our original plan. One of the things that Deuce pointed out, one of the reasons why he didn't want to, he didn't want to. Well, there are some things like there's some real life stuff, but also like he was saying like we haven't actually done much planning for. Well, we planned it out, but we don't really have like a. We didn't do like a dry run or actually establish how our characters are going to sync up together or anything like that, right? It was just straight up, like, we're basically going to go in the next season blind, and that was one thing he was worried about, and I was telling him, like, well, actually, this is going to be fucking awesome. Like, we don't know what's going to happen next season, so we're just going to have to figure shit out on the fly. Like, why not, right? That sounds exactly like how a lot of these seasons go. It's not like, you know, you don't. I mean, I don't know about you, Coaster, but in my case, like, I don't follow things, like, I have a plan, right? I usually have a pretty solid plan as to what I'm going to do, but then along the way, I tend to make adjustments. I'm not like, oh, well, it's going to be fixed so that I have to go in this order, especially if, like, I don't have enough wealth to make a build work. Like, that happened in the Amazon season. I didn't have enough wealth to go right into pit runs, so I had to adjust my, like, how I was approaching that season and get my, I had to get Enigma first, and how did I do that? I think I ran Trav and, Chaos. And was it like, I think it was all Cows Day too. I had to take advantage of that, if I remember correctly. Anyway, yeah, I don't have a specific plan. I just know what to make for my first build. Exactly, right? Like, you figure things out on the fly, and I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, this actually sounds like a lot of fun, really. Because, yeah, like, you know, what fun is a season where everything's already laid out, and, yeah, I mean, and you already know exactly what you're gonna do. Like, okay, yeah, I mean, there is some enjoyment out of that, but, yeah, also, not knowing is also really cool, too, because that gives you a lot of wiggle room, and so, actually, I'm going to be pumped for next season, regardless, because at the end of the day, we're trying something different, we're showcasing something different, we're showcasing something cool, and then, to be honest, it's something which people from this channel and this community can also give their 2 cents and be like, okay, D2, you're doing a, you know, you're doing a pretty decent job, but here are some ideas as to how you can improve what you're doing right now, right? Like, that for me sounds really cool. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. Sorry, let me actually address what you were talking about earlier, but I just wanted to get that off my chest because that is kind of what Deuce and I were talking about yesterday, and I was just reflecting on it, and I had to share. I was like, nah. Sometimes maybe it's it's good to have a shit show, you know? Like, why not, right? Yeah, I don't have a specific plan. I just don't want to. Oh yeah, doing that melee sword build. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. To be honest, I was actually excited for that sword build for 2 reasons. The first was that. Well, the first is it's one of your builds, and you know it's your build, and you know I'm always excited to see what cool off-meta thing you have cooked for a season. The second reason is that if indeed I end up doing a 4-box, or if I end up starting off a ladder reset via 4-box, then probably I'll just watch, or I can actually like. I mean, I told you I'm going to start as a Blizzork, but I have some really cool ideas as to what I can eventually rotate. Like, I'm obviously not going to be using fucking Blizzork for the entire season, especially if my goal is to get Infinity. Like, why would I go Blizzork, right? So I actually thought up of a couple of really cool ideas, and it'd be really cool to kind of showcase really fun and cool builds that I come up with to you as well, right? So, especially since I'll have... Here's the thing. I'm going to have a lot of runes. If I do the 4, like, okay, unless I get completely cucked by RNG, okay, because that can always happen in a season. But as long as I don't have like abysmal luck, I should be able to seal glitch my way to like have enough wealth to make almost any build I want. And also, if you know, if other people like you need help with your builds, then maybe I could have helped out with that too. Could have done Mall, etc., etc. Right? There's lots of plans. Never plan farm areas. I'm not even talking about plan farm areas. I'm talking about like, well, yeah, okay, that's part of it for sure, but I mean, like, talking about, like, what builds you're gonna use, where you're gonna start, where you're gonna finish, right? Like even you said, well, anyway, yeah, it's kind of some combination of those two things. Basically, where you're gonna farm and what you're gonna play for the season. Those are the two things you can really prep. And maybe like what you do on reset night too. Those are really the three main things you'd check for. I don't know, man. I had some really cool ideas. I'm telling you. I mean, I should say I have some really cool ideas. If Dewscrim backs out, I was telling Dewscrim, I was like, all right. Well, he asked yesterday. He's like, so if you don't, if we don't end up doing this two-manning thing, then what would you end up doing? I told him, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna 4-box. And I might try to like push for like, well, probably not push for 99, but I'd at least try to see if I can get like at least a really high level, like 96 or 97 or something like that. That sounds like a lot of fun. It's something that I've never done before, and I mean I have the leeway to do that if I'm a Sork, right? And then he was like, oh, okay, well now I'm really tempted to just back out so that I can see you try and push 99. And I was also telling him I don't know, I might try to see if I could do it with like an off-meta build or something. Melee two-hand Sork with maybe a Tesla sim, but I don't know if I want to play 2 times melee builds. Ooh, that's... I totally feel ya. In a similar boat for me. Yeah, you don't want to do 2 in a single season that are the same. Like, in my case, I made 2 melee builds in a season, because that was, you know, the theme. Melee characters, because I'm not familiar with melee characters, right? But I remember in the past, every season that I played, I was very cautious to not overlap what elements I was playing, for example. Like, I don't think that I've ever really mentioned that to people, except to myself, but, like, I think my first season I opened up as a Trapsin. The second season I was going to go Hammerden, which is magic damage. Third season, I don't remember the exact order. Okay, well, actually, yeah, third season was Necro, Poison Necro. And the fourth season was, of course, Poison Necro again, but that was a special exception. Then Warcry Barb was, well, physical damage. The season after that was Druid, which is fire and cold. And then, I think... the following season after that was the Zon, which was freezing arrow, but then I rotated back into physical, right? Like, I don't know. I always like to play around with different combinations and make sure that I'm not using the same element twice in a row. That was something that is a consideration that I actually do have for myself. Just talking elements, like picking out builds, I was actually factoring that in back in the day too. Yeah. Strafe or multi-shot? That's a good question. Both. Because, you know, you only need 23 points in total in the multi-shot before the mana cost for whatever reason keeps going up, but you don't actually get any extra shots. So, I think it's a roughly level 23 or 24 or something that you want in multi-shot, and then you could just dump the rest of your points in strafe, and even then you still have points left over. So, I had both. And how I use it was very simple. If I'm going up against weak monsters, like Fallen, then multi-shot is far better. But if I'm going up against champ packs or monsters that are relatively durable, then I obviously should be using strafe. That is plain and simple the way I played that out. Hey, by the way, Bars, nice to have you on board with us. Hope you're having a solid day. Again, this is not going to be a long stream. I'm just going to be chatting with you guys for about an hour until I get my booty call. But until then, I'm going to see if I can push 15 to 20 runs. I'm already on run 3, so that's pretty good. Making some pretty good progress. Already got the momentum. And I'm pretty happy with that, so yeah. Straight for multi depends on how you plan your character. Yep. Yeah, like, some people want to make a strafe zone specifically or a multi-shot zone specifically. For me, I had both on my boa. I just think that what matters the most is, like, what you're going up against. Because strafe can hit, like, one strafe can actually hit multiple targets in a pack with piercing shot, right? So I'm kind of like, or with pierce. So it's like, yeah, strafe is, I feel like, better for dealing with the champ packs or unique packs and bosses. Basically, monsters with higher health. Multi-shot's much better for clearing out a wide array of monsters, right? Like, if they're kind of, like, all over the place, if you need an AoE clear, you multi-shot every direction. You don't strafe every direction. That's how I do it anyway. Hey, at D2D2 chat, dealing with work, ATM will be in and out. Good luck on the finals. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Hiring tonight for sure. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Again, Hom3 Watcher, if you're still around, I just wanted to say I'm I'm not going to be here for that long. I'm just waiting on my booty call. And then, yeah, until then, though, I'm going to see how many runs I can plow through. Ideally, I would like to do at least 15 to 20. But again, I don't know when I'll have to hop off. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, okay? So, yeah, exciting stuff. You're cheating on me? No, I said no. No, what? No. I am not cheating on you. This is more than I promised. Usually I just say, I say straight up, you know, Wednesday streams, but wear protection. Sorry about that. I choked on the BS. No, yes, I will make sure to wear a lot of protection. You know, extra large Trojan. You know, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Billy was asking, hey, one question, why don't you play Project Diablo 2? Whoa. Okay. No, okay, Coaster was saying that. That is not my reason, okay? He is just speaking on my behalf for shits and giggles. But in reality, you should give me a chance to explain before you take that as my actual reason, okay, Billy? Okay, so my let's see. My main reason for not really being super into Project Diablo, well, there's a few. The number one biggest reason is because of the server stability issues. That is by far the biggest reason I had. Not even just server stability, but just like all the issues that they've had so far this season. Dupes. People have, well, yeah, like people have already duped. People were doing things. Well, the servers themselves were very shoddy. All right, I couldn't actually finish playing through the game without DCing. And yeah, honestly, basically external factors that weren't tied to the changes made by Project Diablo 2. Basically, server stability issues and dupes and things like that kind of killed my motivation to want to play very early on. Especially the server stability issues, because, you know, I had this momentum going, I was, like, feeling pretty good about, you know, actually playing through the game, and then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, well, you know, your connection has been interrupted, and I was like, alright, I don't fucking play this shit no more. I mean, the idea and the progress for that. Okay, so, yes, again, I don't think Project Diablo 2 is shit at all. Like, I don't even think Coaster believes that, to be frank. It still definitely needs some work. I definitely wouldn't go as far as calling it shit by any means. I think it's actually pretty good. But having said that, there are some things that really turned me off of it from the first couple of days. And yeah, so that's the first factor. The second factor is that the slash reset is coming up, okay? And at the end of the day, what matters more to me is playing on Slash, because it's where the people I know are, right? It's got the tight-knit, super awesome community that I've grown to very much care for, as, you know, as silly as that sounds. At the end of the day, let's add that in, sure. Bow and X-Bow Skiller, 904. Yeah, anyway, so at the end of the day, like, I actually enjoy playing on Slash. I enjoy the community here. I enjoy the banner. I enjoy, like, this is a place that I'm familiar with, and people are familiar with me here, and it's vanilla too. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm the type of person who likes, you know, I've already got this nice small tight-knit community that I'm familiar with, and also I still enjoy making builds for the vanilla game, the original game that we all grew up with, right? That's still my preferred version of the game. So, yeah, for me, Slash takes precedence over Project Diablo 2. That is my second reason. My last reason is that I don't agree. I don't agree with the changes that were made, with some of the changes that were made in Project Diablo 2. And I feel like coming in from the original game, there are certain things that I expect of the game that Project Diablo 2 has come to change up, right? I think one of the biggest things is that in Project Diablo 2, I don't really feel like I can play through the game by myself and have as easy a time as if I were to just play with a group, right? Which, again, that's a good thing that they made it more centered for group play. That's kind of how, in my opinion, Diablo 2 should be in theory, where you're kind of relying, well, you're kind of like working together with other people to kind of progress through the hordes of hell, right? That's kind of why we have immunities in the first place. What the hell's the point of having immunities if, if, you know, one character can just do all of it? But at the same time, that is kind of the Diablo 2 I kind of grew up to know. And I'm kind of like, it's kind of hard to shift over from Slash, where I have full freedom to play the game, even solo, however I want, to Project Diablo 2, where I feel a lot more restricted, just overall, right? Like I have to play one specific character, and I have to kind of like, I don't have access to multi-boxing, I don't have access to map packing, so I have to relearn all the bloody maps. If ever I want to farm again, no, this is garbage. Yeah, right, like, it's just, for me, I feel like, I realize, like, I've been brought up a certain way with Diablo 2, or I've come to expect certain things from the gameplay, like, that group play does help, but that even if you're playing solo, it's not crippling. But I feel like when I play on Project Diablo 2, solo play is actually very crippling, unless you're playing as some of the best available builds, aka the Summoning Druid, the Holy Bolt Paladin. I think there was one other one, but I think from what other people have even said themselves, like, it's hard to really, like, in Hell mode, if you're not playing, like, Summoning Druid or some of these other builds, you're probably going to have a much tougher time. Like, that's just kind of how it is. And I'm like, if that's the case, like, you know, I kind of want to have the freedom of being able to play Combustion Sork and not feel like I'm kind of getting gimped. Isn't that the point of Project Diablo 2? And that's kind of not what I'm getting. I just don't feel like solo play is like, all there. I feel like the power spikes just aren't there, you know? Like, part of what I enjoy about Diablo 2 is if you get certain items, then they will boost your character, like, you know, you will feel the difference, right? Like, Skin of the Viper Magi. That's an item that I get, and I'm like, wow, that's fucking crazy. But as far as I can tell from everything I've done in Project Diablo 2 so far, I simply haven't gotten any power spikes to speak of where I feel like my abilities are just that much stronger. It just simply hasn't happened. So, I guess those are the main factors which contributed to me losing interest in the game. Okay, so hopefully that that answers your question. And I see that there's been a backlog of messages since I began my rant here, but there you go. There's the full, there's the story without people interrupting and without people speaking on my behalf, whether jokingly or seriously. Okay, so yeah. Scott Jeep was saying, I don't like how a mod can hop into your game. In what, like Project Diablo 2 and in Slash? Because, like, yeah, that's, I don't really see what the issue there is. Like, you might feel like, oh, well, I want to have some privacy, but it's like, it's fucking Diablo 2. Like, what do you have to hide, right? Which was nice, helps a lot. Need Blizzard see it and work on Diablo 2 Remaster. To be quite honest, in Slash, yeah, well, that's fine. Again, I don't really see what the issue there is. What do you have to hide, right? Like, okay, so a mod comes into your game. Okay, I mean, it's not really that big a deal. It's, you know, they can watch me run my Mausoleum runs if they'd like, you know? Like, the whole reason they did, but they didn't reveal themselves. Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, the mod is gonna catch you not wearing your pants. Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? Fucking cyber in a Diablo 2 game lobby? Like, probably just not gonna happen, right? Like, I'd understand if, you know, you're, like, having, like, a fucking chat room or something. But that's what Discord is for. Like, or, anyway. Stealth mod, non-stealth mod, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like, you probably, I don't know. What's the point of having a password then? So, let me understand. Let me try to understand your argument here. Again, I don't mean to give you a hard time, but this is my understanding. What you're arguing is that you think that there's no point to a password because a moderator can join your game. The point of a password is to prevent random people from joining your game, like random regular players, right? You're playing on Slash, moderators want to check up on you, make sure that, you know, you're not a bot, or they might have some questions to ask you, or etc, etc. Frankly, I think it's fair that if you're going to be playing on the Slash Diablo server, that if you're going to be using such a service, that the people who run the service can check up on you. I can't really think of a legitimately good reason that you would say, oh, yeah, I have an issue with a moderator checking up on my game when I'm not actually really doing anything against the terms of use. The only people who would care about somebody joining in their game randomly are people who are trying to do shady things in their lobbies, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. The point of having a password is you don't like if I'm doing my own runs, right? If I'm doing my own run of Diablo 2, I'm trying to MF, I don't want Coaster freaking randomly joining my game. Okay, he does that sometimes anyway, but that's besides the point. I don't want some like random guy from the game just hopping into my lobby and trying to PK me or some shit like that. All right? You got the idea. So, yeah, I don't and again, as Coaster said, like, it doesn't matter if you're on BNet. Join your game one time and PK'd you. Yeah, well. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter if you're on Slash, it doesn't matter if you're on Project Diablo 2 or what, yeah. I mean, like, whoever is the admin of the server is going to be able to see your game no matter what. If you really want to have a private game where no one can join, go right ahead. Go play single player. Like, what's stopping you there, right? I simply don't see what the argument here. Yeah, I understand, but if I'm doing something private, it shouldn't just pop in and walk around. What if I was transferring stuff? No, who he or she was. Okay, so if you're... Okay, so again, this is not... Like, I hate to say this, normally I'm very diplomatic about this, but I'm afraid I disagree with you, plain and simple. Like... You saying if you're doing something private, what private thing could you possibly be doing? You're never going to be writing your credit card information in a Diablo 2 game, right? Like, you're never going to be cybering with somebody on Diablo 2. At least I hope you don't. There's other places for that, for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to have like a private, deep conversation, again, like, yeah, probably that's not something you would... That's probably the only thing. If you're having, like, a private, deep conversation with somebody, I guess, but again, that's probably something which, if you were to do something like that, you probably would want to be talking to them via Discord or, like, Skype or some other fucking thing. You wouldn't be talking to them over, like, fucking Discord. Could at least message you. Yeah, well, again, I wholeheartedly disagree with you. I don't know how else to put it. Like, yeah, if somebody's... And here's the other thing, too. You said, what if you're transferring stuff? Okay, so what if you are? Like, the mod's not going to steal your stuff. Like, they're a moderator because they're trusted. Like, maybe you don't trust them, but the fact of the matter is, like, the vast majority of other people trust them. If your items mysteriously disappear, which they really shouldn't, then, again, that's something that you need to talk to, like, the higher-ups about. And people like Minsky aren't gonna hold up for that kind of behavior, but, you know, looking at the current roster of mods, like, looking at, like, freaking be like LeBron, I'd be damned if LeBron actually went. Like, that guy's a saint, dude. Like, that guy's not gonna fucking go into your game and hijack your fucking, your Shaco, or like, your, like, Istrun, I guess, right? Like, it's just not gonna happen. Anyway, so that's as much as I'm gonna say about it. Like, I don't... Normally I would entertain, like, a prolonged discussion, but I just don't really know what more to say about this topic than everything I've just said. And there's other things that you guys have been saying, so let's actually take a look at some of the stuff that you all have been talking about. Let's see. So let's go way, way back. That cough doesn't sound great. I choked, okay? Cast your holy shield beforehand. Yeah, fighting words from Coaster Knight. Yeah, well, when is Coaster not giving me fighting words? Progress for the idea. I know balance is kind of borked and it has nothing unique. Combination of what already exists. I'm probably just a purist. I really like something like Median Excel. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I really like Median Excel because it doesn't try to be Diablo 2, right? Like, okay, yes, it uses elements from Diablo 2, but you can tell that it's like way off the rails. It's on the very far end. It doesn't resemble Diablo 2 in any way. In a lot of regards, completely different skill trees, completely different items, completely different everything, and even like the speed at which characters move. Right? It's like a fast-paced. I don't even know. I can't even call it fast-paced Diablo 2. It's different, right? So I'm on board with what Coaster was saying earlier. Stash inventory is a nice idea. Oh yeah, increased stash space in inventory. A lot of people like that. I'm largely indifferent to it, to be quite honest. Anyway. Much group play centric. It's too hard to play single player. That's what I'm saying. I don't really. I mean, I'm the kind of person who likes to play a fair bit of single player, and I just feel like Diablo 2 can accommodate that far better, especially on Slash, where it's no drop zero across the board. Even if it were single player, or even if it weren't no drop zero, I'd still be quite happy with rocking one character. I feel like I'm just powerful enough to take on single player, even early on, unlike in Project Diablo 2. Diablo is not an MMO. We don't need group play. I hate how coerced gameplay is. Like they took skill sets of basic equipment around it. The game tells you to make this. Like on D2, skill set is your job to figure out what to make. They should have made a Diablo MMO change of mind. So your Diablo 2, Diablo 3 is basically just play the best builds. Backlog. Yeah, well, the whole fun of Project Diablo 2 I thought was that everything was supposed to be viable. If we're still just going back to square one, which is just play the best builds, then why the hell am I not just booting up Diablo 2 like I'm doing right now and just playing fucking Diablo 2? Which, by the way, one other factor I forgot to mention, the other reason I don't play Project Diablo 2 is that I have goals that I want to do in Slash that I feel like are more interesting to me than playing Project Diablo 2. It was worth me trying it out. I tried it out, and I like it. I think it's a good mod. It's not so good that I'm like, or it doesn't really vibe well enough with me that I'm like, man, I'm gonna dump like, fuck Slash, I'm never coming back, I'm off to Project Diablo 2. No, that just ain't it. Anyways, maybe back before, maybe not, depending on how long you go. If not, see you tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for tuning in, Haunted Watcher. I think he's gone by now, though. Hey, Driz, good to see you. Hope you've been well, my man. Working a bunch, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen you the last little while. Yeah, Dooz and I... Sorry about that. Dooz and I are still in the middle of trying to work out if we're going to be doing the two-man strat next season. But if that falls through, then I will be boxing after all. So, I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting these next few days trying to figure all that out. And we shall see. We'll get your privacy and items back. Is it more powerful than actual mods, to be honest? What if you diss LeBron James? Oh, yeah, everything was already viable in POD, don't you remember that was their catchphrase? Well, that's... Again, I don't know, I think everything was viable in POD, to be honest. That's something that they did... Actually, that's the thing with POD, they made everything too strong. That's the funny thing. They made everything too strong. Any build could do anything. In Project Diablo, only some builds can do anything. Or very few builds can do everything, I feel like. That's the kind of difference that I'm getting just from the small amount of time I played. Again, like, I haven't played hours and hours of Project Diablo 2. I'm not, like, super qualified to be like, oh yeah, this is, like, it's not like Slash. I can tell you, like, with a pretty informed opinion, like, okay, these are some of the weaknesses, these are some of the benefits, or some of the things that we have implemented in the game. Things like multi-boxing. I tell you right now, I feel like, you know, multi-boxing, if you didn't have multi-boxing, you'd probably be a little bit more inclined to play with other people. If we didn't have things like no drop zero, like, you know, I've been playing on this server for so long that I actually have some informed opinions on kind of like how things should, or like, I guess how some things are impacted by others. But for Project Diablo 2, I can only go off of the very limited amount of game time I have and what I've seen of that mod. So I don't really like to say too much about it, but I can give my first impressions, and those first impressions do matter to me, which is really the topic here, because yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, people are asking me, like, why am I not playing Project Diablo 2? Well, yeah, there's you know, it's a combination of different factors that I've noticed when I started playing the game for these 8 hours, right? And things that I've heard other people say, where because of said factors, I'm kind of like, I realize I'm like, yeah, this is kind of what I'm not really, like, when I really give it a lot of thought, yeah, this is kind of how I'm feeling. Scott Jeep was saying, killed it for me. Some random person coming in my games thanks to the mods. Yeah, again, like, so it bothers you that somebody came into your game. Okay, I mean, well, I guess if you don't want some random person coming in your game, well, then I guess you can either go back to single player or you can go back to BNet. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not really that. Maybe, you know what? If it's a big deal to you, hey man, I'm not gonna try and convince you otherwise, I guess, right? Like, it's not really something which is in my place to say, oh, it is or isn't a big deal. If it's a big deal to you, then alright, well then sure, whatevs, right? I'm just saying that personally, I don't really think it's a big issue at all. I don't think if I were to ask the vast majority of people who play on Slash, I don't think most of these people give two shits. If some random person joins in your game for 5 seconds, says hello, asks if you're human or not, and then leaves. Again, the only people I would imagine that would have an issue with this are the people who are trying to do shady things in their games. Plain and simple. What do we need POD to when we already have POD? Same, they did my source dirty, and no map pack is a no thank you for me. To be quite honest, I hate to say it, but like, I'm okay with no map pack. But I don't know. I enjoy having map hack for the characters that don't have teleport. I think that's the big, like for me, I like farming. I like getting in knee deep in the thick of things with, like, if I want to like go and farm some specific area, if I want to go farm Countess or Summoner or Neelathak or what's her name? Like Andy or Duriel or Mephisto or any of the other act bosses, I don't have to do mental gymnastics to fucking figure out where they are. Okay? I just want to be able to go and freaking kill them. For me, that's exciting. So that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it. So yeah, I was thinking Chaos, but you know what? I'm just going to give that one a pass for now. Frankly, my point is very simple here. Like, I get more enjoyment out of actually using map hack on Slash versus this mod which doesn't have map pack, and I can't really, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Elden Shank Trav. Yeah, okay, those are places where the monster's always gonna be there. Pindle, there you go, there's another one. Yeah, oh wait, but the Pindle was already listed. Looking for D2D. POD always had a meta anyway for have a great stream. Okay, sounds good, Coaster. I'll see you. Yeah, so Nintendo was saying they did my Sorks dirty. See, that's another thing too, right? Like, I admit, teleport is pretty broken for getting through the game. Like, I still, even now, I still feel like, yeah, teleport, you know, you really can't, you know, like, on a Sork, teleport is king. But right now, I just don't feel like there's really anything about the Sork that just makes it particularly desirable. It doesn't really feel very strong at all. Like, the Meteor feels kind of lame. Granted, it had been nerfed just before. Actually, what percentage was that? 8%? Oof. Yeah, like they had just nerfed it right before the reset, right? And that kind of sucks, but yeah, even other people who had played things like Combustion Sork were like, "Oh yeah, my build was great until I reached Hell." And then it's like, "Well, what do you do in Hell?" Like fucking nothing. And no one really, yeah, I don't think anybody out there who was particularly enthused about the idea of going like Cold Sork or Light Sork either, so I'm led to believe that really the main, and I mean Blizzard I think is like much weaker than its vanilla counterparts, so it's like, so really when you're playing a Sork, you're, again, like, you don't have the option of really going like Blizz Sork all the way anymore. what Sork now has instead of teleport and Blizzard early is just Blizzard by itself, or is just teleport by itself. I feel like is their main strength, and that's basically it. So yeah, in a way they kind of, and that's even that got nerfed, but even then, right, it's still like the Prima Donna like mobility spell that you can get. Again, I'm glad they did something about teleport. It was pretty broken, I would say, but like the rest of the character is kind of like not really. I don't really feel particularly good playing as a Sork, if that makes sense. Aside from teleport. That's really it. Ladder restarts in 15 minutes, yes. Not even just that though, the damage early on is just ass. Late game fire is the way to go. Since they buffed Infinity for breaking cold fire immunes. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But see, that's, you know, see, I mean, I thought the combustion was pretty decent, but like, this is the thing. For me, Meteor Sork just didn't feel like it did enough. Either, right? Like, I played Fire Sork. Well, okay. Anyway, I started with Fire Sork first because a lot of people went Fire Sork and were okay with playing Fire Sork up until Hell, where they weren't able to do anything. In my case, I played Fire Sork and I could get through the game. It was okay, but it wasn't great. But Teleport has always been great, so I would say that, yeah, if the Sorcerers really had a strength, it's just the fact they have Teleport, right? I think that's a fair statement to make. But after that, there's really nothing else about their class that makes them stand out, that makes them really desirable, that makes me say like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome that we have access to that. It just doesn't happen. Just got nothing. Just didn't understand their reason for hitting their early game, then turning around and adding Summon Druid plus Cleric Pally, which own Sork's vanilla strength. Yeah, no, you know, I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all, right? Like, I think we talked about this prior, and yeah, like, Cleric Pally and Summoning Druid are ridiculously strong, which, again, I thought the whole part of the point of Project Diablo 2 was to kind of rebalance the classes and make everything viable. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but if that's the case, then why is it the Summoning Druid is so strong? Why is it the case that Cleric Pally is so strong? But meanwhile, some of these other builds that other people played, I saw some people not too happy about their Summoning Necro. I'm definitely not happy with my Meteor Sork. I'm okay with it, but it's like, it's pretty meh. I don't feel like strong enough. Yeah, I'm kind of bored, to be honest, of not really being able to do much, aside from spam farm fucking Eldritch over and over. It's also what, oh yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing. It's 2 weeks in the first season, and they've been focused with like doing like server side issues. But there's obviously a lot of things that I'm sure they have planned for balancing. But that's later on down the line. That's not right now. So again, it's really not something which I'm looking at like, yeah, I'm really invested into Project Diablo 2. Like it just hasn't happened. As long as Meteor and them are synergies with each other, it wouldn't work. Apparently, only me. I mean, okay, good for you. What about how you feel, ZZ? What does it mean to feel? He feels COD is COD too. Yeah. Anyway, Drizzle, I don't know if you're still here, but I've been doing fine. Thank you for checking up on me. Hope you've been well yourself. I know you've been working a fair bit, but hopefully just the other aspects of your life have been pretty good too. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go. Might see you on Reset. Have a good one. Okay, sounds good. I'll be here probably tomorrow, as usual, and then, of course, Thursday as well. But otherwise, Noodles, I appreciate you stopping by. You have yourself a lovely evening. Hope to see you during Reset, and I will see you again next time. I'm not going to be here for too much longer myself. I've already done 10 runs, and I'm expecting my booty call will come in a second now, but I'll see how long I can go for, okay? So, yeah, we'll just see how things go from here. Amrun. Have you heard of PD2? Are you serious? We just finished this topic. We actually just finished this topic. I was ranting all about it. POD2. Hey, Lamau, nice to see you. Yeah, today we're back on the train of topics about, or discussions on Project Diablo 2. So buckle up and enjoy the show, I guess. Casket or coffin? I'm gonna call it coffin. Yeah, okay. Any Verdanskers in here? Oh, what does this look like? A Warzone recruitment session to you? Nah, dude. We're D2 in today. For 10 Moz runs at a time. I'm sorry, that's all I can manage, man. Like, I'm trying here. Like, whenever I have free time, whenever I'm not, like... Whenever I have just a little bit of energy, I roll with it, okay? I don't have the mental tenacity that you do to fucking go and push for 99 with a class I don't even want to play, okay? That's just not how I roll. Should have played Summoning Druid, yeah. I assume you don't approve of PD2. No. Oh boy, maybe I need to make like a command or something to reiterate my thoughts on it. Basically, like, I don't want to have to go over everything again, but I'll TLDR it for you quickly. Basically, one, how did it go? Oh yeah, I think that Project Diablo 2 is a really, it's a good mod. Like, they've done a really good job with it. It certainly needs more work to be done to, like, get it, like, to where it should be at, in my opinion. But I think that they've done a pretty good job with it so far. It's just that for me personally, some of the biggest things that really killed the mod for me were the server stability issues and the duping problems that, you know, where, you know, I was getting, like, connection has been interrupted, and like, the servers had to be taken down every now and then, like pretty much every other day for a little bit, or every couple hours. That was kind of, I think, what killed my momentum for playing Project Diablo 2. But I had some time to really sit down and think about it, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I just didn't really feel like their balancing schema was good enough. Like, if their balancing schema wasn't good enough, with certain builds being way too strong. Summoning Druid is too strong. Cleric is too strong. But meanwhile, like, other builds that other people are playing, like Summoning Necro and my Fire Sork, were very much too weak. And I just don't feel like there's enough... Like, I just don't feel like... I like to play the game kind of solo. It feels like the game is really well balanced around if you have a team, but if you don't have a team, then the game does feel kind of awful, to be honest. Like, it feels like every boss battle is a fucking struggle without having a full team, and I'm like, you know, kind of... I mean, like, yes, I guess that's good if you really want to challenge, but at the same time, I'm also kind of like, eh. I think it's just because, as somebody who grew up with, not really grew up with Diablo 2, but, you know, I'm used to Diablo 2 being a specific way, because, you know, I've played it so much over the last few years, and I'm used to everything being a set amount of difficulty. To watch the game go from, like, being, like, moderately difficult to all of a sudden, like, extremely difficult for some builds, and when you're playing by yourself, is not something that I'm used to, nor is it something that I'm particularly interested in. If you have a team, you just face roll everything. Like, did you see Llama's stream? Yeah, no, I didn't, because I was fucking streaming it myself. Anyway, look. The other issue too, is that playing as a yeah, basically, server stability issues, not really well balanced, or the builds aren't particularly well balanced, and I don't feel like it favors solo play very much. Those are the three main reasons. Also, with the Slash Diablo reset coming in, if I have a choice between Project Diablo 2 and Slash Diablo, where I actually know the community very well, they know me very well, I really like it here, I know the people here, etc., etc. At the end of the day, I'm going to take Slash Diablo over Project Diablo 2 because I have to make a choice, right? Like, am I going to invest the limited time I have for gaming on Slash Diablo, or am I going to spend it on Project Diablo 2? The choice is very obvious to me with the Slash Diablo reset looming right around the corner, and with my Mausoleum run still not completed. Okay? So yeah, that was more or less what I said. I think 15 minutes before you showed up. I don't want to have to. Well, again, I think that I did a pretty good job summarizing it without having to go all in depth into the bitsy little details. But yeah, Baldiz, there you go. Now to answer your question, are you doing every character this new season reset plus 4-player auto bail? You know, I don't fucking watch llama VODs in bed, dude. I'm not you. I play Slash, but it coincides with the WoW X-Pack launch. Like right on the same day. I know that. Yeah, like right on the same day, because like, yeah, I mean, I know some people who, they're kind of like, oh, I want to join in, but Cyberpunk is getting released and shit like that, and I'm like, well, yeah, Cyberpunk isn't until December the 6th. That gives you plenty of time to farm and quit on Slash. Have a little bit of freedom there. I'm not going to be able to finish my next run, so I'll probably basically just chill for the next 2 minutes after this until the servers go down, they reset, and then I can just respond to what some of you guys are saying. Dude, just fuck off, ZZZ. Unbalanced game, that's what make a bad game good. Ask Activision. A bad game good. Well, there's different ways of making an unbalanced game good or bad, though, right? Like, Modern Warfare is just bad unbalanced. Like, it gets by because there's so much about it that's good, but it's still bad. Diablo 2 is like... It's not a PvP. See, this is the thing. You can get away with a lot more imbalances in like an older PvP or in an older PvM game because no one really cares if your fucking builds are underpowered or overpowered, right? Like, okay, you can feel super strong as a lightning sword. At the end of the day, if you're not PvPing, it's like no one's really gonna give two shits. I feel like compared to with Modern Warfare. Anyway, point is, with Project Diablo 2, my standards are a little bit different for Project Diablo 2 because it's a modification of the game that's aiming to try and, like, improve upon what was in the original game, and I just don't feel like it does that. Or at least it does, just not well enough, I feel like, to entice me to keep playing. Or maybe it's just not for me, I don't know. Like, yeah, you guys get the idea.
The Order welcomes you.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna go on a limb and guess that, especially with ZZZ not having been here for the last, like, 5 streams, and just having been mysteriously replaced by this user guy, that he is indeed ZZZ. Like, who the fuck else could it be? Especially as the guy who's going around shitting on POD and PD2. Like, I'm gonna put 2 and 2 together and assume that this is ZZZ. Especially since, as in his words, he said he PK'd me, so I'm convinced now. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced. Either that or he's an extremely good troll posing as ZZZ who freaking had to kick the bucket or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, Baldiz, going back to your question. Sorry, I hope I wasn't coming across as rude with what I was saying about having to reiterate the same thing over and over. I just... Oh, man. I think, yeah. Anyway. My plans for the Slash Diablo reset night. So, am I doing every character the new season reset? That was a really good guess. I actually... That was a really good guess. 4-player auto bail, yeah. This was an idea that came up. So, let me tour you through one of 2 possibilities, okay, Baldiz? This next season is going to go down in one of 2 ways. Either I do it solo... for boxing, or I do it 2-manning with Deucecrim. And I've talked a lot about this in past streams, but I don't know if you were around for it. When my thoughts for next season are going to be like, I'm going to work together with Deucecrim to try... Okay, So on reset night, we're gonna like form a 4-player team, and each of us are gonna run 2 characters. Is kind of what we had in mind. Then on top of that, both me and Dewscrim will make characters that'll make it that Dewscrim will need basically. And him and I are going to be essentially business partners, and we're going to farm together. And it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be pretty good. It's not going to be the usual, like, oh, I'll just play by myself, try to build up my own character. I will try to build my own character, of course, but I'm going to be working together with him to try and make it so that his druid, well, yeah, we want to see if we can, if he can get his druid to a point where it can freaking kick some ass. So, you guys get the idea. Or you get the idea, I think, Baldies. What's up, my guy? Hey! What's up, Garg? Nice to see you, man. How are you doing? Hope you're having a solid day. I'm just in the middle of doing some mausoleum runs. I don't have too much time this evening, but I will try my best to do as many runs as I can before I get called, well, I have to take a booty call. So yeah, that's what's gonna go down. So yeah, I probably have it in me another 5 to 10 runs, I'm hoping, before I have to go, but otherwise, yep, I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll probably be able to do a longer stream, maybe 50 runs or so, and that'll leave me with the remaining 30 or so runs, which I'll probably have to marathon on Thursday, and yeah, we'll see how all that goes. This troll, believe me, no one has ever been a better troll. So, my guy, I'm going to be shredding mobs with a fire druid, but a caster. Wow, yo, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I remember, I don't know if you were around for that. I think you were. A couple seasons ago, I was actually, like, the last time I played a druid, I was actually a fire druid when I started the season. And I was actually running an AT, so to hear that you're actually going to be playing the build I was going to be using in Mausoleum, which I'm farming right now, that's actually kind of interesting. Mixing 2 of my seasons together, essentially, and I think that's... I mean, you let me know how it goes. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, so far, Garg, I am not on board with Mausoleum. Like, I'm on run 911, okay? Guess how many ohms worth of like, if I pull together all of my finds, guess how many ohms I'm worth? Just a general guesstimate. Right? Like, again, it's not always about, like, oh, how much, you know, how good is a place for farming. Like, 3, yeah. 3 is actually pretty good. 3 is a really good guess. It is roughly 3 ohms, actually. Wow, almost killed me. Anyway, yeah, I'm up to about 3 ohms, so, yeah, it's definitely hasn't been the most profitable season for me. If you really enjoy Mausoleum, hey, I'm not going to dissuade you from it. But so far, I'm telling you, man, I know you enjoy the math and the, like, the silly math that I like to conduct after each set of 1,000 runs, and I'm going to give you the early spoilers unless I luck into a burr or something in the next few runs. Which is simply that this has been a largely non-lucrative endeavor. In fact, with every 100 runs taking about... Well, sorry, every 10 runs taking about an hour or so. Yeah, this has been a little under 100 hours. I'd say about an 80-hour endeavor this season. And yeah, to show for it, I have 3 ohms. Imagine that. I didn't mean I'm going to run mods all season. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so it's going to be a starting point. Alright, well then, I wish you the best of luck. I think that'd be a great place for you to start off. But of course, I'm sure you'll branch out and do other areas for shits and giggles too, and I'm sure you'll find some cool finds there too. I know Coaster was, I think, running a fire-type character a while back, and he ended up finding some really cool areas for fire-type builds, so he's always a good source for information that's associated with that kind of thing, yeah? So you're doing some weird 2x4 thing? Not quite. We're doing each of us are running 2 characters at the start of the season, but here's the catch. I'm only planning to focus on 1 character next season. So I'm basically going to be making a character for Dewscrim, and he's going to make 2 characters for himself. I know it sounds kind of uneven, but the whole idea is we're going to be business partners. I don't care. At the end of the day, I only want to focus on 1 character. As long as I get my items, I'm happy. And as long as he gets to freaking, you know, make some sick trades and make his, like, crazy overpowered druid or whatever he has in mind, you know, if we both walk out and we're both happy, then that's what matters, right? And I think that, yeah, that's exactly what's going to go down. It's going to be great. Would have been sick to have you on Team Vanguard. Oh, right. I didn't get back to you on that. Yeah, I was going to message you actually after this was done. Yeah, so I know that you had sent me an invite on Reddit. I appreciate the invite to your team for the reset this season. But yes, indeed, I am tied for this season, doing one of two things. I am either going to be doing a two-man run with Dewscrim. Well, maybe not two-man. It might, well, him and I are going to be working together basically start of the season. Or if he's not available, I'm going to be playing, I'm going to be trying to 4-box through the game, because that's something I've never done before. Because a lot of people, Coaster especially, are familiar with having to 4-box through the game, and I kind of wanted to showcase kind of how I would approach the 4-boxing the 4-boxing method, and then go from there. No worries, you're a legend, my god, do your thing. Sounds good. Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it'll be something that you guys will enjoy watching, right? Because every season you guys have seen me take part in a team, and I thought it'd be really cool to, for once, showcase what I'm capable of if I go solo. Alright? So that's basically it. Thought you weren't playing with Dewscrim, which is it? I am not sure. I am legitimately not sure, because I talked to Dewscrim last night, and our conversation was kind of interesting, because at first, at the very beginning, I was convinced that he was completely out, right? Like, that he was not going to be playing next season, but he was saying that he is still free to play next season, maybe, but he just, there's certain things that, basically, there's real life stuff that might make it hard for him to give it his all next season. And also, we haven't actually practiced any of the things that we were going to do next season. And so it's kind of like, well, we're underprepared. We might not have the time to fully complete what we had in mind. So would it really be the right time next season to do this? He's not so sure. And I told him, well, you know, I don't really care so much about that. Actually, I think it's a good thing. It's actually low-key a really good thing if we don't know what's going on for next season, because if we don't know if we know what's going on for next season, then great. But if we don't know what's going on for next season, then we figure it out on the fly. And then when I had told him that, he actually thought about it, and he's like, all right, you know what? Let me get back to you. And then yeah, that's kind of how our conversation went. I'm paraphrasing, okay? I am paraphrasing again. I don't want to hear this user. I don't want to hear any triple question marks. It's very simple. Basically, what you need to know is that, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be 4-boxing or if I'm going to be 2-manning yet. Like, we haven't decided 100%. But no matter what, I can say that I'm not going to be a part of a team. As tempting as it would be, because, you know, Garg, Coaster, and myself all on the same team would be super cool. And then also, I think I got an invite from Good Grief as well to join his team. So it's like, it's very hard, very extremely difficult to turn people down on any of these ideas or adventures, but I just can't. Why don't I have 4-box on POD2 and do some bursts for World First Infinity? I'm sure somebody's already done that. And the 4-boxing on POD2, well, I'm not really too keen on. No, just no. It's not the worst idea, but just no. Anyway, going back to more appropriate suggestions. Oh, Baldiz, are you still here? Baldiz? Are you still around? I never actually did finish answering your question. I got so sidetracked because everyone keeps bombarding me with like random like things that I have to veto outright, or else it just goes way all. Oh man, you're always around. Okay, good. All right. So your original question was, what did I have in mind? So again, like, this is actually kind of relevant to what I'm talking about with like ZZZ and Alamau right now, right? Like, again, I am waiting on Dewscrim. I know it kind of sucks that I had to say. Normally, I'm very like, all right, well, you know, I'll know right away, and I'll just tell you guys straight, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? But you know, ideally, I want to play with Dewscrim, but if I do play with Dewscrim, like I said, it's going to be two-manning. And, you know, I went over, like, yeah, I'm going to be playing a build that I had in mind. We're going to try to get his Druid off the ground. Okay, that's fine. Now, if for some reason if Dewscrim does finalize that he's backing out, okay, then here's what's going to happen. I'm going to 4-box next season. I'm going to go Sork first. Going to try to get Infinity day 2. And then I have to decide which, like, you know, what I want to do. I can either try to make the mall, and I can actually go to extremes with this and try to farm torches and sell them for malls if I want. That sounds like a lot of fun. I could try to go for, like, some really cool, super expensive build. That could also be a lot of fun. I could try to gear up one of every character, just to kind of... I don't know, it just might be a good challenge to just make one of every character, right? Like, why not? And... it could be good to try and fund somebody's PvP tournament for the slash community aspect, or I could try to push for a high level. Probably not 99, but even some like 96 or 97. That would be much farther than I've ever gotten. Like, the farthest I've ever gotten on, in D2 is level 95. Even my Poison Necro is 95.5, I think. Like, I've never made it to 96, never made it to 97, let alone to 99. I simply don't think I would want to invest that much time to go to 99, but I think that even something like 96 or 97 would be pretty cool, and then I could just leave it there and be happy with it. One of these seasons you should play with all your followers and then do whatever you want to do. I don't know what all my followers constitutes, though, because the people that I play with on my my team, right, the Last Minute Heroes, are all people who actually do follow me on Twitch, every single one of them. Marlies, Incendies, Coaster, Enjoy, Seth, and Good Grief, too. Like, and Alamau. Alamau is here, too, right? Like, everybody that I'm playing with on that team are technically followers. It's just that I have so many followers that it would... well, I don't like to say followers, but... well, I prefer viewers personally, but anyway, point is, there's just too many viewers for me to realistically be like, ah, yeah, well, I'm going to play with viewers, especially if some of them back out, right? Like, then what? I guess I just fill it in with more viewers? I mean, I guess I could. Hey, I leveled! Nice! I actually did make it to level 91 in the end. Okay, that's a good way to end off the season. Firestorm, Molten Boulder... Fissure, Volcano. Okay, so basically I have everything, no wonder. Oh, it's supposed to go into Firestorm. There you go. Ah, fuck it, who am I kidding? I'm never leveling this character again, or never really doing anything else with them. I'm just gonna max it out. Alright. All those ideas sound so great. I would be happy to see even half of them become a reality, right? I'm happy to hear that. I'm really happy to hear that. That, you know, at least somebody's kind of excited for some of these ideas. So that's the thing, too, to consider. I have the... in theory, I should have the option of doing these things because, you know, Alamau was saying previously, oh, well, D2, probably, if you're going to go Blizzork, you're just going to get rich early and then you're going to quit, like, day 2, day 3, right? And here's the thing. A lot of people make this mistake of, oh wow, I've already fully geared up my character, so I quit. Now here's the thing, my goals aren't going to be tied strictly to how much wealth I have or how well geared I am, right? They're going to be tied to what I actually want to do in a season. And more than that, in the past, like this season, I'm super poor. I haven't even finished my character, but because I'm so poor, I don't really have the option of doing anything really outside of these mausoleum runs, right? Like, one of the things I want to do is mausoleum runs, but I also wanted to make like a super secret, awesome, cool secret build for you guys that probably, I don't think you guys will have ever seen it before. And that's something I'm gonna have a shelf for another season. But my point here is just that, I guess that, like, Okay, there we go. I don't really... On a lot of these seasons where I don't have that much wealth, I can't do all these crazy ideas that come to mind for a season where I actually do have wealth. If indeed I am going for a day 2 Infinity, that opens up the possibility to do a lot of really cool things. Make a lot of really cool builds, or like just for shits and giggles try and make like a bunch of fully geared characters for like no fucking reason. To try and meme the server by trying to make a mall, right? There's so many different really interesting things I could do, which simply aren't possible when in like any other season where I'm not trying super hard, I'm like trying to like just scrap together the bare minimum just to complete my character, right? The reality is, unless I get super lucky in a season, which generally doesn't happen, it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to play suboptimally and end up rich enough to do some of the things that I want to before the end of the season, or even before I stop playing like super intensively. Alright, it looks like I got my booty call, and I have 30 minutes. Okay, hold on a second. So that means I can actually push to run, probably to run 920, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see, what are y'all talking about? Huh? I'm playing. Funny, he messaged, like, Fat messaged just as I had to respond to a message, so... Yeah, I mean, Fap was nice enough to check. Either he was nice enough to check, or he was just... Or, like, I can't tell if he was planning to reset the server, or if... Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to, like, reset the server, or if he's just checking, because he said he just crashed, so... Maybe he's just checking up with others on the server, I don't know. Okay, I'm G. Alright. Now, let's respond to some of the things you guys said quickly while I get a response from FAP. Alright, what are some of the other things you guys are saying? Yeah, but you got the idea, Baldies. Like, I always just have so many ideas that I could do, but again, like next season, or 2 seasons from now, I'm playing as a Sork, and I don't usually do this often. I'm actually tryharding, right? I don't normally like to, you know, I don't really feel like I have too much to gain out of tryharding every season with like some meta build. So I don't like to do this very often. But for the very few seasons where I actually am gonna be playing like a really strong build, then I should make the most out of it, take advantage of it. And that's what I intend to do. But of course, I am not 100% on what, even if I'm, like, I don't even know if I'm going to be playing with 4 boxes, or if I'm going to be playing with Deuce Crim next season, right? Like, I got to get that all worked out. So, that's kind of the situation. That's the bottom line. By tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get some word from him on what he says, okay? Like, again, it's very last minute, like when I'm going to be informing you guys, but you know, at the end of the day, I did make a pledge to Dewscrim that we would do this, and it would be kind of a shame to just be like, all right, man, adios. I mean, I guess technically I could, and you probably wouldn't be too upset about it, but this is something I've been hyped about since months and months ago, and I've talked about it over and over and over again, and it would be a shame to deviate from that timeline. What do you think of an idea of starting as a poison echo to farm runes? What what do I think of that? Are you kidding me? It's a fucking crazy awesome idea. I mean, that's what I did. That was my OG tryhard season. I remember first season I played as Trapsin, second season I played as Pally. Then of course I played Poison Necro in Pits, and then I played Poison Necro in Chaos. And the Poison Necro in Chaos was fucking epic. Baldies, you've seen my Poison Necro, right? You've seen what my Poison Necro can do, haven't you? Because Poison Necro is honestly my favorite build. It still is, has been since I played it, and it has been all the way to this day. Because it is just such an amazing, fun, powerful build. There's lots of versatility, a lot of ways you can customize it. Garg's right, you can run it really well in cows, but I actually very much prefer to run it in Chaos, and people on the server love running it in Pits, which is also good too, but personally I just feel like Chaos is substantially more profitable, because I just, for whatever reason, I tend to get more runes in Chaos over Pits. Maybe it's because of the Wraith / Ghost type monsters, I don't know, but the fact of the matter is, I do 1,000 run Pits, I get like, you know, 3 high runes. I do like 1,000 Chaos, I end up with like a fucking like 10 high runes, right? It's kind of like, I'm kind of like, yeah, I take, and this, you know, Chaos Sanctuary always pays out. That's where all that stems from. Like, Chaos with my fucking Poison Necro is kind of how it started. I think Poison Necro to farm runes is an absolutely awesome, or can be a pretty awesome idea, and a really fun one. It can also be some modicum of challenging, too, so yeah, I would absolutely say, yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. Is it like the #1 way to farm runes? Probably not. Not on day one. But as like a way to like, as a character that can farm runes, that has a lot of options, I think it's really good. If you do go Poison Necro, you should make sure also that you get a Bow Barb, ideally with that. Bow Barb will help you substantially. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you after that, okay? So, that's all I'm going to say about it. Poison Necro does well with anything, yeah. Yeah, it does. But yeah, you're gonna, to maximize what its capabilities, you're gonna want to get Bow Barb. Like, trust me on this, it'll help you a lot. Like, I played 2 seasons of Poison Necro back to back, one with Bow Barb and one without, and bloody hell, it was night and day difference. Pure Nova, maybe not, but Venomancer is viable day 1 or 2. What do you mean by Pure Nova versus Venomancer? I always thought that Venomancer versus Pure Nova, like pure, when you say Pure Nova, I assume you mean Pure Poison Nova, is really the same thing, isn't it? Sarcy then switched to Nova once Enigma, then GG quit day 2. See, that's the other thing too, right? That's why I was saying probably might not be the best, because like a lot of people will just go freaking CE Mancer into cows and they'll just go like that, but that's just... Pure Nova does not use CE. Oh! Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess. What would you recommend, Sork the Necro or Necro straight away? Well, it depends how you intend to play your season out. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm a Wine Mancer? What's a Wine Mancer? Depends what you want to do. Exactly as Ayla Mouse said. Depends what you want to do. Also, like, how are you... Like, here's the thing, okay? Let me explain what I mean. One approach you can take is play through the game. If you're playing through the game solo, you can level your Sork first. I've experimented with this method, so I kind of know that I know that it works. You go Sork first, right? You play your Sork all the way to Hell mode, and you can usually do this. You know, you can make it to Hell in about 4 hours if you practice with map hack and multi-boxing. You make it to Hell mode in 4 hours with like a level 50 whatever Sork. And then after that, you just level your Necro and your Bow Barb in AT. And you could have a Necro like a level 60 Necro up and running by day, like by the sometime on day one. So you can actually have both a Sork and a Necro if you want. That's an available option. Alternatively, you could just start Necro, but honestly, if you're gonna go and use like a Necro by itself, then that's fine. But if you're gonna be making like a Sork with or a Necro with a Sork and a Bobarb, etc., I think that it just makes the most sense to go Sork first. Like to be honest, because the Sork has teleport, and like teleport actually opens up everything for you, like doing everything quicker. And sooner or later, it'll help you a lot more to just have that option available to you. But of course, you know, if you're an experienced like Necro player, you could just go with you could just use like Nadja staff or some plain janky shitty teleport staff if you really want. But again, like I just feel like if you're going Poison Necro especially, it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of effort if you just go Sork and Bobarb as your side characters. Because yeah, like you just have a lot more options that way. Level Necro with Sork, then give all the Sorks gear to the Necro for cows. Yeah, actually, yeah. What user said is probably like, honestly, yeah. That would be the most optimal way. I would say. My goal is the Enigma fastest. If that's the case, then yeah. What user said is probably the way to go, because like playing through the game as a Necro is kind of you're gonna have problems trying to go through the game solo as just a Necro. If you're playing with a team, then it'll be fine. But yeah, if you go with a Sork, you know, you can just do whatever you want, really. Users lose drugs. What are you even talking about? I don't even know. Anyway. What else were you talking about here? User was talking about 99 only takes 200 to 300 hours depending on how good you are. Yeah, but I'm not your level. I want to see D2D, or I'm not like freaking Indrik level, okay? I want to see D2D 299. I'm sure you do, but it's just not going to happen. I don't have the interest, like the time, or more importantly, the interest in pushing for 99. Like it's interesting, but it's a big time sink of me grinding the same thing like 1,000 times just to EP that I can do it. I guess. This just sounds like quitting once you get rich, but with extra steps, okay? Quit when you get rich, but play badly so you never get rich. Booty call, yeah. I still want to know the secret druid build. Well, that's great. I'm glad that you, well, I'm assuming you mean this in earnest. I'm glad that you do want to see this secret druid build. Again, I hype it up. It's not going to be a build that's going to impress you, I don't think. But it is a really cool, fun build that I don't think you guys will have seen in action before. At least not the way I've built it. So again, that's something that I'm gonna shelve for like a future season if I ever get there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like I don't really have much reason to try and force making it this season to show you guys, because that could be an entire season on its own. Although of course I don't want to have to play Druid. Um, I mean, sorry, let me rephrase this. I don't want to play Druid like back to back, right? Like I have a Druid right now. Next season I'm playing Sork. Or no, sorry. The season I'm going to be four boxing. I'm playing Sork. Dewscrim. I have a character that I'm going to be playing. That I'm just going to say it straight. It's not going to be a Druid because I just played a Druid. Or maybe it will be because yeah, we might both be going Druids. Um, but yeah, my point is basically just that if I've already played Druid, then I don't want to freaking play Druid again, like next season, or next season, or next season even. So that's kind of how I feel. I'd rather rotate between different character builds, or characters if possible. That's how I feel. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. I just opened a bottle of wine. Sork, LK, Nigma. Well, yeah, honestly, that is the other way you could do it too. If you wanna go the lame, boring way, you can go Sork into LK into Enigma. But that's like a couple. You are looking at a potential couple thousand LK runs, and honestly, early ladder, you're not always gonna have Burr for Jaw available. okay? Like, you can't get Jaw out of LK chess, so you're banking that you can get a good trade in Burr for Jaw. And Jaw has always traditionally been a very weird rune in its pricing, because it really ranges somewhere between 3 and 5. Like, Burr is pretty stable. Honestly, Burr is pretty stable, but Jaw can range anywhere between like fucking 3.5 all the way to like 7 or 8 in some instances, which is crazy to some people. Users gonna say something about it, but I mean, that's just the reality. Some people have a shit ton of burrs, or some seasons people have a shit ton of burrs, and not that many jaws. And other seasons, not many people have burrs, but lots of people have jaws. So that demand can fluctuate. Fishermancer can clear the game solo easy. Yeah. You know what? You know what? Yes, you're right. The okay, yeah, Fishermancer can go through the game solo easy. Honestly, yeah. No, you're right. It's been a while. I actually have forgotten that. Yeah, if you're playing Necro, you could just solo through the game as a Fishymancer. That is very true. Um, but even so, I think my point still stands. Like you still if you have a Sork, it makes a lot of things easier. Like you have a lot more options available at your disposal before you get to Enigma. So especially if you're already going to be having a bow barb too, right? Like if you're making just one character, obviously Necro by itself is totally okay. But if you're going to be like four boxing by yourself, then if you're making a bow barb, you might as well go Sork too. And if you're already going to be, if you already have a Sork, you're probably better off just leveling your Sork and using that Sork to level your Necro rather than the other way around. That's my opinion. So especially as somebody who has actually gone Necro first and then leveled a Sork. It's a pain in the ass. Like I don't know how else to put it. Also, when your Necro is leveled and respect your Sork into a Enchanter, enchant the Necro's mark as buff for cows. Yeah, users right. Like that's a pretty solid setup. Smarter than Hammerdin. Smarter than that. That's so funny. You really hate Hammerdins. I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Hammerdin is not really my vibe either, but I mean, well, yeah, I mean, anyway, I don't think it has anything to do with being smart, whether or not I want to play as a Hammerdin or not. Play Druid every season. D2D2 King of Druids. Brrrune. It's Bear Rune. It's B-E-R. Brr. It's not bear. Where's the A? That doesn't even make sense. Cube 2 burrs. Okay, true. Y'all jokers be crazy. Like in cube 2 burrs. I mean, I guess. Yeah, this is where y'all are just distracting me, trying to prevent me from finishing my runs, so I gotta keep at it. Yeah, I got to answer everybody unless... Hold on a second. Is my music still playing? Oh, no, it didn't. It actually finished. Since Dan isn't here, I can play all the shitty music I like. Well. What the hell? Okay. What the... There we go. How do you pronounce the Berenstein Bears? I don't know, Berenstein Bears? How do you pronounce the place name Baranath? Buranath? Buranath. Berenstein Bears. See? Plain and simple. The letters after NA education. B-E-R. Burr. Green beret. Yeah, green beret. It says right there. It literally says right there. B-E-R. Beret. Right? Beret. Yeah. Ver, veer, bear, bar, bear, bar. Like, yeah, same thing. All of it. Yep. Well played, sir. Yep. See? You can't win. You just, I told you, you just simply can't win this argument, man. I refuse to acknowledge that Berenstein Bears is spelled any other way. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Oh my. Let me actually turn this down. Anyway, I don't know. I'm excited for next season. Next season's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope. That's all. That's all. Uh, I just really wish I knew what it was gonna be that I'm gonna do, because to be honest, on Friday, I just realized I can't actually practice for boxing on Friday in time for the reset, because when I think about it, they're gonna take down the servers in preparation for the reset, so I can't actually practice for boxing. Lol. I guess I could at least try to well, not theory craft, but come up with some good names for my character for a change. I think, yeah, I have some in mind, but yeah, I better not fucking have to rename my fucking character D2D2-Bear like this time. Worst name in the fucking world, okay? Like, I'm telling you guys, D2-Santa Claus would have been the GOAT. Like, I don't think yeah, somebody came up with that as a name. When I heard it, I fell in love with it. Santa Claus. Like, how much better a name could I have gotten than that for this bear druid? Like, really. D2D2-Slap. I like that, actually. D2 Slap would have been pretty good, too. But I think, honestly, Santa Claus takes the cake. Like, I simply cannot come up with a better one than that. Not in a million years. Dad 2, Dad 2? I'm no dad. Well, okay, maybe I am, but like, you guys make it sound like I'm like this daddy. Call me Dad 2 just so you can say daddy anytime you see me. All the wrong ways too. Oh dear. Hey, WK2. Welcome to the channel here. You were saying, isn't a season 4 months on Slash Diablo? Yeah, and indeed, the next season is going to be on Friday for this private server Slash Diablo. This is single player? No, this isn't single player. This is the private server Slash Diablo. Yeah, which is why I am permitted to use map hack and multi-boxing here, so I can have multiple windows of the game open at once, and I can see everything, of course. Yeah. But those are some of the main differences. They didn't really change like most of the gameplay from the vanilla game. They didn't try to like rebalance any builds or rebalance any items. It's still the same silly original game. I think mostly it was just map hack, multi-boxing, and drop settings. A few other things, but like nothing that I look at. I'm like, wow, that's way different. Anyway. Hey, do you have an only Burrs site? Yeah. Burr2. Well, I mean, again, if I end up 4-boxing, it could be, I keep hyping this up, but it could be another 2-Burr season. But I was super lucky that one, so I don't know if we'll be able to get that to happen again, you know? Baldiz was saying, with POD, PD2, all the other mods out. Okay. What user base are we expecting during ladder reset week? Expecting 0 users, user is saying? Oh, man. Anyway, listen. The first thing I want to say before I actually answer your question, I don't think it's fair to throw in these same, like you're saying POD, PD2, all the other mods out. I don't really think that that's the thing we should be looking at here. I think it's just with PD2 out, because honestly, POD has been out for some time now. It's been out for a while, so, and even that hasn't really impacted the number of people who are playing on Slash Diablo, okay? That's the thing you gotta consider. That's just with POD. And then, of course, the same thing applies with all the other mods, too. Like, they've been out a really long time. It's not like they've really drastically hindered, Slash Diablo's player base on reset night. It's only Project Diablo 2 we're looking at, because they just had the reset, and it's the brand new thing. It's the hot shit, right? Like, everyone's on it. So, with that in mind, I don't know what player numbers we're looking at. Yeah, I legitimately don't really know what player numbers we're looking at. My guesstimate, if I were to take a good guess, probably around 350 is my guess. again, I don't have any numbers to back this up. It's just that I think a lot of the casual people that would have been looking for their fill of Diablo 2 around this time are going to be turned towards Project Diablo 2, right? But for but for a lot of us diehard slashers, we're going to be coming back to Slash. And also, more than that, there's players like myself and Coaster who are much too... Like, we're vanilla D2 purists. In quotes. I say this very loosely because it's hard. It's not entirely fair to say, like, Slash is vanilla D2 with things like No Drop Zero, multi-boxing, map pack, and so on. But the fact, like, for us, the gameplay itself for Slash is a lot closer to what we want it to be than something like Project Diablo 2. So if it's up to me, I take Slash in a heartbeat over Project Diablo 2 right now, right? There is no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be coming back to Slash. And to be quite honest, I feel like a lot of other people too, who are in the same boat, who prefer Diablo 2 in its original form, are going to still come back to Slash. So I don't think that the server is going to be entirely dead like some people are making it out to be. Especially because also, you know, the pandemic is still going, and, you know, a lot of people are being encouraged to stay in their homes, and, you know, people are fucking bored out of their mind. What the hell else are they gonna do, right? It's not as if there was no pandemic, and now the choice is essentially between Project Diablo 2, which is there's lots of hype, or Slash Diablo. Like yeah, there's a lot more people, and they're gonna be playing a lot of Project Diablo 2, but there's also some that are going to be redirected to Slash, I think, is how I feel. Okay? So... Man, you guys are really freaking hyper today. Alright, I'm going to do one more run, and I think I have to go after this. Here. Give me a second. Booty call. Okay. Yeah, I saw botnet. Okay, so that's a good question. That is a good question. Hold on a second. Don't mind imaginary. That's how a lot of us here will refer to BNet as. We fucking hate BNet. All right. But again, we're not trying to come off as rude to you by any means. It's a fair question. And the answer is actually really quite simple. It's because we hate... No. We can't stand the bots, the dupes, and the real world trading that goes on with things like purchase websites and D2JSP. Now, I say JSP a little bit loosely too, because, like, you know, a lot of people like JSP as a grounds for trading, but again, forum gold, that kind of stuff. Some people get it through, like, doing errands for people, but you can't... Like, there's a couple problems with forum gold, right? You carry it over from season to season, and you can... Like, some people directly purchase forum gold, which is essentially the same as just buying items from the game. When you're playing on BNet, you're exposed to all of those methods of getting items illegitimately. Now... Dub is saying that's as vanilla as it can get. Okay, so I think you're misunderstanding how we see vanilla. Okay, like, you're right. Vanilla as it gets is, I guess, the bot-infested mess that's BNet. But what we want is the vanilla gameplay, which doesn't have anything to do with these... Yes, exactly. No RMT and no... third-party programs that are built to exploit the game or do automated tasks for you, because that's supposed to be something that you do, right? Like let me give you an example. I'm playing on BNet, and, you know, I luck into, like, let's say a burr rune on day 1. I should feel like I'm on top of the world. I should feel like I'm hot shit, right? Like, you could say, oh yeah, but that's RNG. And that's the point. That's part of the game. When you get, like, a really rare find like that, it should fucking mean something. If it's valuable, if it's rare, if it's useful. But with the bots, the dupes, all this shit, by day 2, everything is worthless because you can actually just dupe runes, or you can dupe items to make whatever it is you want to make. So because of that, there is no item on BNet which I could ever look at and be like, man, dude, this is worth something. At least that's how I feel about it. Now, you're free to agree, you're free to disagree, okay? I'm not going to try and be like, no, you're wrong or you're right. But again, I think I speak on behalf of the people here when I say that, yeah, like, when I play on BNet, this is so prevalent. Pull for burr should not be a thing, and that's like what's a lot of public games are, right? Like, people are literally trading their burr runes for pulls because they're buying it off of real life websites, and they're too lazy and it's too inconvenient for them to try and make another purchase for like a pull rune, so they'll just take the surplus of whatever rune they have and then just trade it out to somebody else. Pull mal pull ist. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, my point here, when it comes down to just like playing the original Diablo 2, like what we want are the items, the characters, the builds, right? We want to be able to farm Bale and Diablo and whoever else, whatever we feel like doing. We want to have the freedom to play with us. To be honest, yes, if we really wanted to go like super vanilla, we could just load up single player. It's true. We could even go pluggy if we really wanted to have something between BNet and single player. Like actual like vanilla single player. Like vanilla single player is really as vanilla as it gets. But here's the thing, right? Although that's as vanilla as it gets, I like the option of playing with other people, right? Like for me, the game is just like Diablo 2 is one of those games that is just way more fun. And this is my last run, by the way. I gotta go after this, but yeah, it's just way more fun for me when I'm playing with other people, right? And right now I'm not playing with other people, but on reset night, I want to play with other people. During like the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I want to be able to bail run with people. I want to be able to trade with people. I want to have the option of dueling with people, right? And these are things that are just not really doable if you're only playing in single player. So, and then of course, meanwhile, you go on BNet, and yes, true, like if you want a vanilla experience, then technically, yes, you just go BNet, but again, like, I don't want to have to play on servers that are just infested by bots that essentially do everything that human players should be doing. So, anyway, you get the idea. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. You've been awfully quiet. I don't know if you're a PD2 player, POD player, if you're like a BNet fanatic, a single player guy, or maybe, heck, you play on Slash. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of us here, Dub K2, like, we'll respect that some people will want to play on vanilla. Like, I can respect that, or well, we respect that some people are willing to play on BNet, okay? Fine. But it's definitely not something that we look at and say, yeah, we want a part of that mess. A lot of us moved over to here because we wanted to get away from that mess. Yeah. What do you actually play on WK2? I've said a lot about myself and our server already. So yeah, are you like a PD2 player, POD player? I don't know. I don't have an affiliation, just want to understand. Okay, I see. Well, then in that case, yeah. Again, don't let the passion that people have here come off as rudeness. That's again, like, that's really how a lot of us feel about it. We feel like we deserve better. Diablo 2 deserves better. There shouldn't, in some ideal utopian world, there's no bot, like, and a lot of people are going to say otherwise. A lot of people are going to say, oh yeah, bots actually help the game. There are literally going to be people who try to defend bots and stuff like that, but bots are also a lot of the reason, or part of the reason why a lot of players stop playing the game. Exploits for duping items are part of the reason why a lot of people stop playing the game, because if you have items that are supposed to be worth a damn, that are super rare, and you know, I can just snap my fingers and pull that item out of my ass, then what the hell is the point of playing multi? So yeah, anyway, I think that's kind of where a lot of people stand. So yeah, hopefully that sheds some light on it. I'd love to talk to you more about this tomorrow. I don't know if you try everything. Fair enough. That's good. That's good. I like that open-mindedness. I truly respect that. In fact, I feel like there should be more people who are open-minded to like lots of like different perspectives and also being willing to try everything. That's good, right? But yeah, that's something I can respect. Having said that, though, WK2, it was nice meeting you. Hopefully I see you around again in the future. I mean, you seem like a pretty chill dude. But I am going to be hopping off for this evening, I think. A little bit abrupt, but my booty call is here. And I think I was able to make it to run number 917 complete. Run number 918, it will be next. Tomorrow we're going to try to push for 50 runs, or as many runs as I can do. Okay, and then probably on Thursday we will try to complete the remaining 30 runs is my intention. So yeah, if you guys want to hang out here tomorrow, you're more than welcome to do so. I'll probably be starting my stream around 6 o'clock Pacific or 9 o'clock Eastern time. Once again, just want to address some of the remaining comments that were here, and then I will be signing off for the evening, okay? But yeah, thanks WK2. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the chat, the discussion. If you have other questions, feel free to ask them now also, just quickly. Otherwise, again, like I said, I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here on Thursday. I'll probably be here on Friday as well. And pretty much, I realize I'll probably be streaming every day until next Wednesday. So yeah, yeah, feel free to hop back in and ask if you have any other questions going forward. Okay, Dub? Well, I don't know if you're still around because you already said see ya, but yeah, that's gonna be if you do come back in the future. Some of the other things that were being said, just on the final remarks here. Casual Norman, I'm a vanilla purist. Don't forget me, says user. Well, I wonder about that. Fuck POD. Garg was saying. Yeah, I don't like to say it like that. I mean, I think POD is fine-ish, but. Anyway, it's not for me. PD2, too many nerfs. Yeah, not just nerfs, but there's some fights that are just too, like, that are well balanced for group play, but if you're trying to solo through the game, it's, like, a lot more difficult than I would want it to be quite honest. Okay, well, alright, sounds good, dude. There's a global pandemic going on, could have fooled me. Yeah, NA number 1, being encouraged to receive 2K monthly and play D2, fair enough. P2W automation, no bots, wink wink, yeah. You could bot with slash review to all your friends, yeah. Pull for Burr, that hurts my soul. Yeah, imagine that, pull for Burr, right? Although we might do like the mall this season, so we'll see how that pans out. Pub Bales, how do you fucking emote? I don't know. Vanilla with a side of chocolate, yeah. Vanilla with chocolate chips, yes. You have an affiliation now. You're now part of our collect. You can check it out anytime you like, but you never leave. Yeah. Marahum. I am so sorry. You caught me just as I was dropping my stream, bud. I am sorry. Tomorrow I will be back, though. For a much longer stream. Caught me just as I caught my booty call, and I gotta hop off. Yo! No! I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully with an answer on what, whether or not I'll be able to do, yeah, anyway. We'll catch up tomorrow, okay? You brought back the feels. Is there anything else you guys said? I don't think so. I think that's basically it. Cyberpunk 2077, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I've addressed just about everything, though, right? Open Pokemon cards I'm playing. Get the fuck out of here. I was like from way back. Politics stream now. Yeah. Alright, guys. Once again, I really appreciate you guys all hanging out. It was a lot of fun hanging out, lots of company, and lots of comments. You guys made these runs fly just like a bird, fly, hit like lightning. I don't know, fucking know, man. I'm hopping off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we can continue our runs, get a lot more in, and well, after that, yeah, should be all hunky-dory. So, hope you all have a great evening. Thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed the runs. Hope you enjoyed the chats. But otherwise, I'm going to be hopping off now. I'll see you guys tomorrow and on Thursday. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Big shouts to Alamau, Garg, Marahum, Dub for being here at the end. And I think Coaster was here earlier, but he's gone. And Baldiz, yes, almost forgot. Baldiz was here too. Trying to see if there's anybody else, but I think that's really the, yeah, that's basically everybody. And a lot of you guys were here from like close to the start, so that was really cool too. All right, I'm gonna go raid Coaster. Thanks again for hanging out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, thanks everyone for watching. This is D2D2 signing out.